Hey, what's up all of you beautiful subscribers? Welcome back to the Chapple Show. So what we're talking about today is when to swing for the fences as an entrepreneur. And I'm going to talk about what's happened with me, what's happened with my businesses, and when I'm swinging for the fences and why I'm doing it, okay? And then I'm going to talk about should you guys do that same thing as well. So let me take you back here a little bit. Let me take you back a few years here. Before I ran any business, when I was an employee and heavily reliant on my boss's paycheck that he would give me every 2 weeks or whatever, right? So it was at that point where I started, trying to build side ventures, okay? I was trying to build side ventures and the vast majority of those failed because I didn't really know what I was doing. When you start running a business, seriously, there's a really good chance where you're gonna think you know what you're doing, but you don't. You don't at the end of the day. And so what I recommend to start out with is don't try to hit those home runs right off the bat. All right, unless you have absolutely nothing to lose, don't try to swing for the fences. Don't try to build that billion-dollar business right away. What I recommend for you guys is if you're a newbie into entrepreneurship, if you're a newbie into business, if you're a newbie into whatever field, try to get a single at least. Try to get a single, try to get a double, okay? Try to get a base hit or a walk. Don't try to hit that home run on your first go up, because odds are, there's a really high probability in entrepreneurship that on your first go around into business, you're probably gonna fail. We're talking like a 99.9% chance of failure over the course of the first 5 years of your business. And so what I recommend is just go for a single. Learn what it takes to actually build a business. Learn what it takes to, even if it's a business that earns 20 grand a year, or 30 grand a year, or 40 grand a year in terms of profits that you take home afterwards, just learn what it takes. That's what I recommend. Don't go for the home runs right away. Don't go for the billion-dollar business right away. So for me, that's what I was doing. I was trying to hit singles all the time, singles and doubles, and eventually it kind of worked out where I built, about 3 or 4, I guess, how many do I have now? I guess I technically built 5 businesses that were earning tens of thousands of dollars per year, although I discontinued one in real estate. But what I'm trying to say here is that if you hit a bunch of singles, they add up. But the most important thing about hitting all those singles is that it teaches you how to hit that home run. It teaches you what it actually takes to make $1 million or a multi-million dollar business. And so once you hit all of those singles, you'll kind of realize okay. The other thing too is that you'll become more comfortable. If you build a bunch of businesses that make tens of thousands of dollars per year, that adds up. Maybe you can make 6 figures, and that's a decent income in most areas, right? And so you'll get comfortable. And then you'll be at a point where it's like, okay, I have that opportunity to hit that home run. If I fail, then it's no big deal. I still have all of these other singles that I've hit before, all these other businesses that I can rely on afterwards, which is what I'm doing right now. So we're going to talk a little bit about myself here. So, my income largely comes from stuff from affiliates, consulting, YouTube. It was real estate, but not so much anymore. Courses. Those are a large portion of my income right now, right? Stocks, another thing too. And that all kind of adds up, okay? That all adds up, and I'm doing very well this year. But I reached a point now, as you guys know, if you're a subscriber of my channel, where I want to hit that home run. I think I know what it takes to build a business, right? I've built 4 or 5, I've hit 4 or 5 singles, or doubles if you want to count them for a lot of people, but for me they're singles. And I know what it takes to play in the big leagues now. I know what it takes now to hit 300 at the plate. I know what it takes to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. And now, here's what I'm going to do is I'm not trying to hit that single anymore. I'm going to take a giant swing. I'm going to invest a lot of money into this e-commerce marketplace, which you guys know I've started, right? If you're a subscriber of this channel, you guys know I'm trying to build an e-commerce marketplace. You guys also know that I'm learning how to code as I do it because of, well, a bunch of reasons. That's a whole separate video. I don't want to give someone else a ton of equity in my company. I don't want to pay 70 grand, which is what it would take to build my site. So I'm learning how to code for myself, and I'm learning how to build this potentially giant business, which can be more lucrative than anything else I've ever done. However, saying that, I'm going to have to invest more money into this than anything else I've ever done, apart from maybe the real estate courses in Ontario. How much did they cost me over the last year? In order to get my real estate license, I think it was like 3 grand. I think it was 3 or 4 grand, somewhere around there. They were like $500 a course, maybe 600, 700. I think I did 5 of them, right? 5 or 6 of them. I don't even know. But I think that this will be my biggest investment. So I'm swinging for the fences right now. I mean, the entry into YouTube, into building, you know, courses and all that stuff, I mean, we're talking a few $100s and a very small time commitment to start those things. I mean, to start a YouTube channel, you just need a few minutes and a camera. You can even use your phone if you want to. I know some people are very successful. They started in the past year filming YouTube videos with their phone. I mean, so we're talking just a mild time commitment, a mild financial commitment. Same with courses, same with affiliate marketing. You can set all that stuff up and learn it in a few hours. When you're building a giant marketplace or a giant business, we're talking, I mean, I've already put in how many hours into coding right now? 40 hours into coding in the past week and a half. And I haven't even begun to start my own website yet. I mean, well, I kind of have, but what I'm trying to say here is that I'm putting in a much bigger upfront investment to try and hit this home run. I'm putting in a lot more money, I'm putting in a lot more time than I would for all of these singles. And I think that's what the analogy here for hitting that home run versus hitting the singles means, is that you can hit a bunch of singles. You can sign up and, you know, you can sell stuff on Amazon. You can, you know, start building YouTube videos. You can start doing freelancing stuff. That only takes a few hours of your time and maybe a few $100s, maybe $1,000. When you start to build something that's bigger, when you try to hit that home run and you don't hit that single anymore, we're talking thousands of dollars, even tens of thousands of dollars. We're talking not just a few hours of time, we're talking 1,000 hours of your time, 2,000 hours of your time in order to start something like that. And so I think that what I recommend is, because if you're just starting out and you're putting in 1,000 hours into a business and you don't know what you're doing, odds are you're gonna fail and you're gonna give up and you're not gonna continue with your entrepreneurship journey. And that's what really, really worries me with a lot of people, is that they try to hit that home run too fast without really learning how to build a business. And then what happens? They give up. They give up and they don't even try anymore. They just give up on entrepreneurship. Oh, it's too hard. It's too hard. I don't want to do it anymore. And I don't know. That's why I recommend just going for the singles, because if you swing and miss and you're trying to hit a single, like, you might even foul the ball off, right? You might foul the ball off. You're not going to, you know, you might foul the ball off. You might even hit a double. Who really knows? You can run into one, maybe. I don't really know. The baseball analogy is kind of a little bit weird. I don't really know how to do it right now. But what I'm trying to say here is that, you know, hitting that home run, it can be discouraging if you swing and miss. If you're trying to hit a single, you might foul it off. You have a higher probability of getting a hit. You might swing and miss as well. But guess what? You get to come up to the plate again a lot faster if you're hitting those singles. If you're only putting in a few hours of your time into those singles and you fail, or you're only putting in 8 to 12 to 15 to 20 hours to hit those singles, you can try again in a few days. When you're trying to hit that home run, you're putting in 1,000 hours of your time. That's a big commitment. And if you swing and miss, that sucks. That's like months. Months of your time have just disappeared. And you might get discouraged. So I think that's the moral of this video here, is that for me, I hit a bunch of singles and I'm trying to hit that home run right now, and it's taking up a lot of time, a lot more time. And I understand why. You know, one of the reasons why people always ask me, like, why aren't you just doing it through WordPress? Why aren't you just you know, trying to build your website through WordPress or some other theme that's already set up for you? Well, look at the biggest websites in the world, okay? Look at the biggest billion-dollar websites in the world. How many of them use WordPress that also sell stuff? The answer is zero. The answer is zero. None of them use WordPress for their actual marketplace, for selling stuff, okay? Yeah, oh, well, I shouldn't say that, because if you're just trying to sell stuff for yourself and you're just trying to sell your own products, you can do that through WordPress. There's tons of successful businesses. But if you're trying to build an e-commerce marketplace, or you're trying to build a giant website like an Amazon, an eBay, even stuff like Facebook, even something like Twitter, even something like Etsy, none of them use WordPress. You have to build it from the ground up. And every single one of the founders of those companies knew how to code, and they built a large portion of it themselves. So that's why I'm doing it. And it also allows you to get full control. You don't have to rely on WordPress to do anything. You can completely customize everything. And so, you know, I'm trying to blow through this right now. I'm trying to go for this all-in home run swing here, and it's taking up a lot of my time, and I hope it's worth it. I think that the worst case scenario, though, is that even if I strike out on this, I know how to code. Actually, I guess I should give you guys an update here. I might make a separate video on this, is that I actually learned, I'm through JavaScript right now. And so I'm onto something called jQuery. For those of you in programming that don't know, JavaScript runs every single major website out there, from Facebook to YouTube to Google to everyone codes in JavaScript. It's a programming language. So jQuery is kind of like it's a more powerful, it's a way to utilize JavaScript more in a more powerful way. So I'm onto that now. I still have to learn a lot about servers and about the back end. I have to use Python and Scala and freaking a bunch of those, but that's a nerdy thing I'll talk about another time. So I think that's gonna wrap this video up. So if you're just starting out and you haven't built a business, go for the singles, okay? Go for the singles, learn how to build something, and then hit that home run when you become comfortable. I mean, think about this. From my beginning of me starting to build my businesses and my entrepreneurship journey, it's been, what, 3 years? Technically 3 years, and I'm just taking my first swing for a home run. I've been hitting a bunch of signals. I've been hitting a bunch of singles, and it's all worked out well. And now I get the opportunity to keep swinging for those home runs now. I guess that's how I should close this video out, actually, is that you hit enough singles and you can keep swinging for the fences after that. But if you keep swinging for the fences when you start, you might have to stop. You might get cut from the team. You may not have any money to keep swinging for the fences in the business terms. You may not have the time. You may have to go work for someone else. And so if you keep hitting those singles right off the bat, I get almost unlimited tries now to keep hitting those home runs, which is amazing. So that's what I would recommend for you guys. Hit those singles to start off with and then swing for the fences. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people, and I'll see you guys in the next video.